Good timing, Mango. That's my cat. He's helping me stream today. This is gonna be a Neotoy story classic stream. No music. No long rambling, speculative, political or philosophical rants. Just exploring. Although who knows? I might go off at some point. I do have a tendency to do so. Orange 22. Sounds interesting. Cool sidewalk chalk. Let's try this out. Maybe you have to click on the chalks first. Oh wow, that's cool. It's just a little sloppy, but still a pretty cool piece of code. Just gonna check the stream health really quickly here. Oh, at least it's working. Okay. Yeah, I actually wasn't even feeling up to streaming. But then, let me tell you a story. So, yeah, I live in Northern California, and that's fucking cool looking, whatever that is. And, yeah, it's been like really unpleasantly cold still, even though it's basically April. Usually it warms up around this time of year where I live. But last night it was like 34 degrees, and it's been like raining almost every day. Well, not every day, but a lot. And yeah, it's just been kind of miserable. And here's the really weird kind of, I don't know, surreal thing is that my computer, of course, has had this legacy of issues. I don't know exactly what happened. I rebuilt it several times, and I don't know, maybe at some point something's just a little bit off, like, you know, the CPU didn't seat right, or the thermal paste application wasn't perfect. I don't know. But when it's really cold, like it's been, the computer like crashes a lot until it warms up like it's a 1960s television set or something. So like it's kind of unintuitive because I put all this effort into making sure that it would run really coolly because I was worried about during the summer when it gets hot as it's been in the past, that the GPU would crash because it would overheat, and that was actually a thing that I was having problems with this at one point. So I kind of like engineered the case so that it would be like ultra cold, practically refrigerated. Just one mistake after another. All of the physical realities trying to outmaneuver me at every turn. But yeah, so bottom of the line is like it's super cold, and so it takes forever to warm up. And now the problem with that, of course, is that it just keeps restarting over and over again until it finally reaches some mystical unknown temperature, and then it's fine. Then it's as stable as a rock. It'll just go all day long. So I've been doing a lot of design work lately since I've been playing around with this 3D printer that my friend loaned to me, and so I'll open up SketchUp or Blender or whatever and start working in the morning, and my computer will just crash. Like I cannot keep it going, no matter how hard I try. And these applications are too lightweight. I mean, honestly, it must be the GPU that's messing up, because it seems like the secret to getting stability is basically running some kind of GPU intensive program until the GPU heats up. So what I've been doing is just launching Second Life and having it kind of like run in the background to warm up my GPU while I'm using these other programs that are like far less demanding. And it really irks me because I know it's like wasting energy, but it's the only way to get my computer to work. Talk about a bizarre workaround. Yeah, anyway, it's just eccentric and weird and obnoxious, but it works. Sometimes it's nice to just have a solution that works. It's an interesting sculpture. This is like an island of games. That's my conclusion after walking around for a while. Assets kind of like on the lower quality side. The architecture, kind of like the composition of The Sims. A little sketchy, but navigable. And as always, a feast for the eyes, like pretty much every Second Life sim in existence, except for the ones where there's basically nothing. Yeah, so I've been letting Second Life running, and as usual, because I just can't help myself, I will pick a random sim to click on. Usually something that looks busy, because obviously I want it to use as much GPU power as possible. So I've been clicking on a few random sims, and I clicked on one this morning, and it was really cool. This is fun. It's like a prim factory. Kind of a cool little piece of art. I feel like I'm playing Half-Life. That's pretty cool. There's the prim, hot off the assembly line. That's a pretty neat little piece of scripting with cool sound effects. Where does it go? Just falls into this hole here. Guess it just dereses when it falls in there. It's kind of sad. They're creating all these prims and then they just disappear. Like the hula palm trees. Oh, cool. This dude's actually building it in real time. Probably the creator of the sim. Oh no. Pff, Jesus Christ, Neotoy. It's not even a real avatar. Ugh. Definitely need to drink more coffee. It's the answer to everything. Orange 22. The name of the sim, the name of the dance floor. It's kind of cool actually that he built like a fake avatar, fake building as part of the art exhibit. I'm actually going to take a closer look because that's kind of cool. Even the like little build lines, and clearly well done enough to fool an imbecile like me before I've had enough caffeine to actually get two neurons to knock together. This is a pretty cool sim, honestly, just for what it is. It just feels like it needs a little polish. But there's a lot going on. I've seen many sims that are higher quality build wise, but have a lot less interesting things happening. It's absolutely amazing how common this like little like town square kind of corridor of shops is as a architectural meme in Second Life. Alright, I'm gonna just do the SL URL here into the chat. Yeah, so to get back to my story, I just brought up this random sim that had a lot of traffic and it looked like it had a reasonable amount of complexity, so I'm like, that'll be a good background thing to just burn some GPU. And it was like a furry sandbox sim. Let's see if we can go to Utopia World. But it was awesome. Like, I wish I'd, like, bookmarked it, because it was cool, but, like, not in a, this is totally one of those breeding creature sims. That looks really well done, at least. It was awesome, and not in any sort of a technical way or an aesthetic way. It was awesome in like this very intimate interpersonal way that like it was clearly a sim that had been around for like a long time, at least 10 years, because as I was exploring I ended up going up into this tower that was on the sim, and there was like an office in the tower and like a circular floor plan with all of these like workstations like that were looking out of the tower windows with like office phones and computer workstations. This is a cool sim. Really like I like everything about it so far. Just the architecture, the aesthetics, the props. It's just the layout. Yeah, I'm really liking it. Yeah, anyway, so like every one of these little office cubicles kind of had a like a nameplate on them, and like the desks were decorated with like props that each person had clearly lovingly chosen, and what else? Oh yeah, their desktop uh, wallpapers on their virtual computers were all very like reflective of their personalities and stuff. I mean, it's pretty clear that most of them were furries, but not all of them. And like as I was continuing to navigate around this office area, I was just seeing like all the pictures they'd put up, and it really was like the thing that really touched me about it was that unlike a lot of Sims in Second Life, where they're just kind of half-assed and they don't really feel lived in, like this one felt totally lived in. Check this out. Look at the wiring on the wall here. Like realistic in the most gritty possible way, where like it's like this is, yeah, this is very farm, industrial farm kind of esque, like realistic in terms of how the wiring is just kind of slapped on the outside of the metal shack. It's like the workshop. That's cool. That's right where I would be at home. This is very much true to how industrial farms actually feel in real life. Well, not an actual industrial farm. This is kind of like in between, kind of like blending a lot of it's more like a rural mid-sized farm. Yeah, it's blending kind of the more large-scale industrial ag with the smaller, homey kind of feel of a small farm. Cool pumpkins. Damn, that's a lot of work in terms of texturing and geometry and stuff for those. And pretty cool effects too. So yeah, this sim was just it really felt lived in a way that a lot of Sims in Second Life don't. Like it was clear that all of these people like spent a lot of time like in the sim. But I don't know why, but that's just kind of like a precious thing to me in Second Life. I don't know, it's really authentic, I guess. Because there are so many people, like, even me, like, I would say I'm totally a casual Second Lifer. Like, for me, it's more of just a spectacle, a place to, like, observe and absorb and explore and just be fascinated and stuff. But I'm not, like, I don't know. It's hard to classify myself because of all of the like work I've put into Second Life and all of the assets I've created. So like in one sense I feel like I'm deeply invested and I'm like a hardcore Second Lifer, but in another sense I feel very like peripheral to it because while I'm creating assets I'm not like participating in the way that like a lot of the subcultures and hardcore Second Lifers are. God, that's a very realistic water flow. It's beautiful. This beach is just gorgeous. Like this is a place I would want to hang out in real life, although I want like a lounge chair and a little bamboo table and oops, that's not what I wanted to do. And like a Pina colada. Yeah, Sky. Sky makes a lot of really amazing realistic assets in Second Life. Lots of environments like that. So far, this is a pretty fun sim to explore. I think I've seen this beach house build before. It's pretty cool though. Oh, nothing up there. I think flying is turned off, so I'm just like, oh, look at the fishing line on the fishing pole here. So that's an actual 3D object. That has this incredible detail. Look at that. It's amazing how it goes through all of the eye hooks. Guarantee you won't see this in uh-oh. Looks like there's a glitch there. Damn, that's too bad, but still. The fact that they put that much effort into it is pretty incredible. D-Lab. Desire Voom. Tugboat, that's cool. It's really been a fun experience to watch, as over the years, it has been years since Mesh first was introduced to the grid, just to watch how slowly and yet steadily the Mesh assets are propagating throughout the grid, and just how the world is going from sort of like cartoony surrealism to this more and more intricate and detailed and realistic aesthetic. Like that fire axe. It also looks like one of the same assets by this creator. He seems to have made a lot of things on this sim, or that has been purchased off the marketplace and added to the sim. Terminated for inactivity. God, advertising in virtual worlds. Jesus Christ, that seems like a... Can't even wrap my head around it. Like, virtually no metrics. I mean, I'm sure there's ways to inject metrics somehow with like Google Analytics or whatever, but in general, you're just like posting some image on a prim somewhere, hoping that someone's gonna wander by and see it. It's not something I would spend any money on, that's for sure. But people do. That's a really cool clock tower. I like everything about the design, especially the weather vane on top. Let's see, is that accurate time? It's not. No, it's only like 1:08. Oh, cool! It actually tells the weather on a little text block. made this asset. Harbor Clock, Austin Liam. This looks like a train station, kind of. It's just like one of those little outdoor malls. Like mid-century golden age. What's that say? Whatever it is, it's an empty shop. Yeah, I get the feeling that this is some kind of a vaguely open-ended RP sim. Look at this beautiful stainless steel kitchen with all the accoutrements. It's a bit small. It's like a kitchen for hobbits. Haha. This is pretty cool, actually. Oh my god, is that like alphabet soup or macaroni? I can't tell. That's like a sushi kitchen. Man, so much detail. Yeah, I'm just trying to imagine this in like the early aughts. Like this level of detail and realism just wasn't possible, really, because of how much effort it took to create assets that looked this good using prims and then inevitably sculpts, which, while they were capable of producing this level of realism and intricacy, were just far too challenging for a lot of people to create compared to mesh. Actually, my frame rate's pretty bad just because of how much detail there is in the sim. I really wish I could fly, because I'd like to just sort of get a more bird's eye view of things, but that's not happening. It's just kind of mind-blowing whenever you just think about how all of this content is user created. It's just like kind of impressive. I think I've seen everything actually on the whole sim. Pretty cool. Keep hitting the fly button. All I can do is run though. Just wanted to take a look at this palm tree before I left. It's kind of a cool asset. Palm chopping tree. I wonder if that means you can, like, chop it down. I'm hiding in the bushes. Haha. Let's see if I can turn speaking on. Hey there. Can you hear me? 'cause it's chat only. Thanks, but I'm just exploring for my show. Yeah, I do kind of exploring second life kind of show. I'm Second Life famous. God. But I can't spell famous. I could tell that some things were under construction. Overall, it looks great. You've done an excellent job. I'm sure they will. Things are getting better all the time. Yep. Been on myself for a while, so I dabble. Yes, all mesh. Thanks, but I'm all booked up in RL. Well, keep up the good work. Time for me to go explore another sim. Alright. I don't think I pasted the SLURL in here. Alright, to avoid an awkward transition, I'm just gonna jet away. Haha. Alright. Yeah, Utopia World. That was interesting. I feel like I probably should have asked some more questions, but honestly, as much as I enjoyed chatting in Second Life, I'd much rather be exploring random sims. I feel like I've gone to Odyssey at some point. I have a question for my usual viewers. I'm sure most of you, since most of you are hardcore Second Lifers, I'm gonna try tribe here. Get all those green dots. Most of you know about Linden Labs, like, official kind of like recommendations. Goddess Girl's the greeter. This is like, what, like some like call girl sim maybe? I hope not. Wow, that is some serious, I My GPU is not qualified for this level of complexity. Damn. Oh yeah, Second Life has this official like destinations guide, and occasionally I have to admit I am intrigued, especially like I notice they post some on social media, like some of the more ambitious and quality projects in Second Life. I've been kind of avoiding them a little just because it feels a bit like shilling, and also because like they're already getting so much attention. It just feels like, do they really need like even more, traffic? If the official Second Life accounts are, directing people their way, they're probably already getting plenty of exposure. I might kind of like to shine a light on Sims that maybe get less traffic. Wow, this looks amazing though. Just right off the bat, sometimes there's an actual reason for Sims to get a lot of traffic, and it looks like a lot of work was put into the design of this sim, but it's taking forever to load because of all of the assets. Just gonna have to be patient here. But yeah, so my question is whether or not you guys think I should, I don't know, occasionally maybe just visit those recommended highlighted sims just to see what they look like and sort of bring my unique Neotoy perspective to those sims. I don't know, it's just something I've considered. I have done it in the past with a few. I did it with like one or two in the last few years. Look at this like custom neon for all of their signs, and like quality too. It's not like this isn't low grade neon. Although it almost looks like it was. I think those are mesh objects. Well, yeah, of course they're mesh objects. What am I saying? But yeah, it's a lot of work. Not so much work to generate. Like you can generate fake neon pretty easily in Blender or whatever, but then to actually like texture it and bring it into Second Life is another matter. These are cool lampposts. Wow, it's got a HUD too. That's crazy. Yeah, it's been a while since I came across a sim that I felt compelled to label as overly ambitious, but this is definitely bordering on that. Like, I'm guessing the land impact is just completely maxed out. Looks like they used a selection of prefab buildings, the A-frame, and then this one with the arch top to kind of populate their square here. I'm getting like 6 FPS. This Tory arch kind of attracted me, so I'm just gonna start exploring there. I think my draw distance is already down like as far as it can go. Oh no, 96. I can set it a little bit lower. 64. That might give me a little bit of an improvement. We'll see. I'm just getting the feeling like I've been here before. Like, yeah, this is definitely like a prostitution sim. And I think I have been here before, although, incidentally, the last time I was here, I think it was far less fleshed out, or like it's obvious that they really amped up the all the visuals quite a bit. But unfortunately for me, it's just far too. There's just way too many assets that are just using up all of my GPU. It's probably working in my favor though, because if I was getting a decent frame rate and you could see everything, my video would probably get taken down for too much adult content. That's kind of a cool landscaping. Got like different zones that are kind of themed, I guess. Really wanted this little like castle thing to load because it looks really cool. I love little vignettes like this. Kira Blackthorn Fairy Decor Castle. There it goes. I remember a time in Second Life when they didn't have the code implemented where if you focused on an object that it would load faster. Things just loaded kind of randomly. I don't know how they determined the order of loading, but I remember when they first implemented that code and just how awesome it was, where you could just like hover your cursor over an image or an object and it would load like faster than everything else in the scene. Although that's not what's happening here, but it is loading a little bit faster. It's just like there's probably like a gigabyte of textures in this small area that I'm in. That's kind of cool. Just want to walk up the staircase through something just kind of was like drawing my attention. God, this place is huge. There's just so many individual houses. Now this feels lived in, but in an entirely different way than that other sim I was on. I think I'm more sex positive than I used to be, so I'm not quite as likely to discriminate. This is pretty cool though. A butt plug and a dildo on every single side table. Pleasure is never more than a small reach. This is the kind of computer I need right here. Damn, that's actually a solid looking build. That's actually a really cool lamp. It looked kind of lame before the texture loaded, but just a little, I don't know. Even though it's art, like the idea of women being used as appliances is kind of, I don't know, it's a little bit upsetting, I guess. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be like going into many of these houses if they're all gonna be as intricate as this. That's a cool wall design. Like it's dimensional, but it's subtle, and then they had the textures and the materials doing a lot of the work. It's kind of a cool effect, though. Huge shower. This I love how I read this thing a while back about how automobiles dominate American society and how like how huge the garage is in comparison to so many houses. Like often the garage is like 10 or 20% of the entire house, which is just kind of absurd for something that a car is just parked in. But in this house, the shower takes up like I'd say like a maybe a sixth of the entire, I mean, maybe a ninth of the entire room, which is kind of cool. I like that because while a garage is just there to pointlessly house a car, well, not pointlessly, but comparatively, it's not. The utility is fairly low. A shower, is a more utilitarian and valuable kind of part of living, I would say, because it's more about pleasure and sensuality and hygiene. So in other words, I think it's better to have a large part of your house devoted to those things than housing cars. Yeah, this, if anything, is sex positive. It would be this sim, I would say. Oh, there's just so many little details. Jesus Christ, no wonder this is rezzing so damn slow. Look at that stack of coins. It's like, at least the stacks are not. I thought they were individual objects, but they're not. It's just money, cocaine, coins. I'm just not clear on like maybe it's the fact that I'm using the official viewer, but it's like how do people enjoy Sims like this? Like clearly this is a very functional sim that has a clear purpose, but unless you're inside a room like this or you have like a supercomputer with dual, $1,000 plus GPUs, I don't see how you can really like enjoy the sim. But then again, I guess that's kind of like in every society, you always have division between class, right? So you've got like your high end or high class um, prostitution versus your more like low class prostitution. So naturally, um, it's like the carnival ride, like the roller coaster. Like you have to be this tall to get in. You have to have this many GPUs to enjoy this fully immersive um, experience. Clearly, Neotoy Story is a low pref scrub, so he can't uh, he can't afford the prices of this high class establishment. Yeah, like admittedly, my impulse initially was just to leave for various reasons, but I'm finding myself just kind of like seduced by this sim and unable to leave, even though I'm trying. I guess my pullout game is pretty weak. Oh, come on. What are you hung up on, man? Ugh. Okay, like I fell into a sex pothole or something. Ugh, it would help if I was getting more than 5 FPS. Wow, I can't even jump. I'm like completely stuck. If only there was a giant dildo or butt plug within reach so I could extricate myself from this horrible situation. I really don't know what to do here. I'm literally stuck. I'm just gonna explore the old-fashioned way for a bit, and then hopefully I'll find some interactive object I can sit in to get out of this predicament. Aztec lily bulb. Those crystals are cool too. I really like the theme of this section. I don't know exactly what you'd call it, but it's beautiful. Oh, these look like pitcher plants. It's kind of a apt metaphor. There's no fluid inside though. They should be like full of water and sticky sap designed to attract insects. A lot less going on in this house than the others. Maybe that one's vacant. Although it seems like if there is an active call girl, her image shows up in the little frame over the house. I'm confused. I'm not sure what this is in front of the door. Maybe like a screen door or something. Prostitution's really interesting in Second Life because like there's no privacy, which is kind of interesting. I mean, you can try to enforce some kind of like pseudo privacy, but as you can see, I'm just like able to look inside all of these buildings without any issues. I'm really surprised that Second Life has never really made an effort to solve that fundamental problem. I mean, I kind of like the fact that they never have, and I think it's intentional, but at the same time, like, I don't know, it's just kind of strange and fairly unique, I would say. I think there, on most of the other virtual worlds out there, there's probably some way to have some kind of, like, black box area that people can't just randomly look into. Here's an area that I'm sure I can probably sit into. Let's try it out. There we go. That looks comfortable. Alright, let's see if I can walk my way out of here. That was nice. It kind of gave me a little boost so I didn't have to crawl out of the hot tub. Yeah, but for me at least, this sim is like almost unnavigable. It's just way too much going on for my computer, which was pretty high end about 5 years ago, and now it's like trash basically. That's a very nice sentiment and completely unexpected given the locale. Nice little hot tub upstairs. Or actually, that's more like just a barrel bath. Look at those daffodils. It's a nice little garden there. The tulips, there's a little Z buffer thing happening, but otherwise it's really nice. There's a little less going on over here, so getting a slightly better frame rate. But I feel like I wandered off the sim. Let's see if I can bring up the mini map here. Guess I'm still on the sim technically. It's interesting I haven't been approached by a single person yet. I remember like when I first started using Second Life back in the day, and prostitution was maybe even a bigger thing then than it is now. If you were like in a welcome area for 5 minutes, you would get approached usually by some like virtual hooker. I was friends with this one e-girl for a while. I think she's long gone from Second Life now, but it was just kind of interesting. I asked her a bunch of questions about like what it was like being a prostitute in Second Life. Honestly, I couldn't like wrap my head around it at first. I mean, like it just didn't seem, I don't know, tactile or exciting enough. But I mean, obviously, people find much less tactile and exciting ways to get their jollies. So this is a huge step up for a lot of people. And of course, it's nothing like it used to be. I mean, once motion capture started to become a major thing in Second Life, and then super hyper realistic mesh bodies. Like, I mean, I'd say it's as good as virtual sex could get, probably. Unless you're using some kind of dedicated system, you know. Which there actually are some of those now, which is kind of bizarre, but totally understandable. Kind of like this white grass. It's very strange, but also I don't know. It just adds a fluffiness to the environment that I like. See, there's not a huge amount of variety in the. Oh, look at all that tube work there. That's crazy. Yeah, there's not a huge amount of variety in these buildings. God, look at what they did on the cables here. That's crazy. And it's extra funny because on normal neon there's usually just one wire or two wires if you're lucky. Oh, that's a lot of animation work too there. Let's see who made this. Halogen Magic. That's a cool creator name. Especially if your thing is making light. I guess I feel like there's just enough variety in each one of these individual houses to kind of like make them interesting enough to go into. Uh-oh, get the fans. Fans are all rotating in along the wrong axis. That's kind of funny. Wow, are those individual paper clips? That is nuts. Damn. Like a million polys just in this room. I have to say it is kind of fun going into each one of these little houses and finding like, you know, the unique elements in each one. I like how this really cracks me up, but how because of how slowly everything is loading, that the images are all basically pixelated as if they were like censored, you know? This is kind of hilarious. Makes sense that a lot of the upstairs areas would be empty. Ah, more of halogen stuff. It's a pretty realistic, impressive level of detail. I love it when tiny kind of like incidental props like that are so well thought out. That's cool how that bead curtain makes a sound when you go through it. Nice little touch. Yeah, each one of these houses has like a little bit of personality. That's interesting. I wonder what that is. This one's more like minimal with a kind of like a little bit of a cyberpunk kind of feel to it. And you could just spend all day like exploring all these different houses. The door's not opening for some reason. I'm right on the edge of the sim. Oh, these are like beach rentals. Weird. Well, that would be convenient if you were like really into call girls. You could just rent a place right on the premises. Definitely a nice place to work out. Drafting table, that's a nice touch. Stripper pole on the porch, classic. Not even sure how that's supposed to work. Well, thank you for providing that helpful illustration, which clearly illustrated exactly how it's supposed to work. Definitely feeling more of a BDSM kind of vibe in this area. I like the design of this hot tub. It's like an inflatable hot tub. Like, how cool is that? Alright, let's see if these controls work. I'm curious. Oh, there we go. Filled it with water. That's cool. Alright, and the other one's like air jets, maybe? Oh, that's tight. Let's see who made this. Backbone inflatable hot tub. Axel XOXO. It's a cool fountain. I think probably at least a terabyte of the textures have rezzed, so I'm starting to actually get a little bit better of a frame rate. think I'm basically back where I started. Looped around the whole island. And this might be the place that I visited before, or it might be like another version of the same thing, which is not uncommon. Alright, paste the SL URL in there. It's almost 2 o'clock and I'm actually getting pretty hungry, so I think I might try one more sim just because, I don't know. Kind of looking for something with a little more depth. I think resetting to plain planes is actually a smart move because it kind of like forces me to start from the center again. Maybe then I'll go off in a slightly different direction each time. Hopefully that'll allow the randomness to continue. Marine Bay, huh? Let's see if we can go here. This is probably the future of Second Life for me because my computer's not going to get any faster, but the assets are constantly going to be becoming more demanding. Like, yeah, if I'm going to keep touring Second Life and exploring, I'm inevitably going to have to upgrade something, because this just is, it's kind of painful. Also, it's not as big a problem as it used to be, but I've always favored AMD CPUs and GPUs, and a long time ago, I don't know why, I think a lot of the developers, when they were first coding Second Life, they had kind of like a strong NVIDIA bias, so everything kind of like ran better on NVIDIA and supported more of like NVIDIA's proprietary and custom stuff, which thankfully that's not as big a thing as it used to be, but I think there's still a little bit of like remnants of that bias, and because of that, I think it's a little bit less like the performance is just a little bit less because of this AMD setup I have. Which is fine for me. Like, I'd rather give my money to an ethical company than get like a slight boost. And I really don't like the way NVIDIA just seems to totally overcharge for products. Like, I was watching this AMD presentation just a while ago, and they were talking about like this ridiculous GPU that NVIDIA had come out with that was like in the extreme high end, you know, like over $2,000 with like just an insane amount of video RAM and everything. And the interviewer was like asking this AMD exec or tech if they were gonna like come out with a competing card, and they were like, no, we're not gonna do that because it's like, it's just outrageous. Like, the use case is so small, and for some people that would be like a major turn off, because they would be like, well, people should have access to these outrageous overpowered cards if they want them. Well, and you have that option. Like if you want a card like that, you can get one from Nvidia. But otherwise, if you want like an affordable kind of optimal video card, I feel like AMD is the better choice. It's like less frills, less bells and whistles, but good performance and supports all of the modern technology. And I'm sorry for my navigation, but it's just like impossible to move around with this low frame rate. Well, not impossible, but very challenging. But if anything, this place is more intensive than that, like cyber brothel. Mainly because of these like what look like Apple fall assets everywhere. Yeah, craft work. Not even close. Huge trade-off though, because like on one hand everything's just gorgeous and amazing, but you can't really enjoy it because of the processing power required. And honestly, as far as I know, I'm like pretty much the only person on the internet who does this. Like, there's a few other Second Lifers who do Second Life exploration videos or slash home invasion videos where they go into people's houses in Second Life. But like this specific activity is like I've never seen anybody else do it. These are popular. I've seen these popping up on more sims lately. Aki 69 picnic flower wind turbine. That's pretty cool. That'd be neat if wind turbines actually looked like this. I think that would be pretty awesome. I mean, obviously there's engineering reasons that you would not want to maybe design them like that, but in terms of aesthetics, I just think it would be so cool. The point I was trying to make though is that somebody with like dual $2,000 NVIDIA GPUs should be doing this kind of a show. Someone with boundless energy and unbridled optimism. Like, I think that would be awesome, and they would actually get like real views. Like, I don't know, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of views. And I'm like permanently shadow banned on YouTube, so I'm never going to get that kind of traffic. So it just kind of sucks because Second Life is just so incredible. I mean, just look at this freaking sim. Like, this is amazing artwork. So much potential. That's my pitch for a real Second Life show, not Neotoy Stories Amateur Hour. Oh, this is awesome. It's like a vineyard. I want to actually go over here and tour this. Had so many beautiful assets. Look at this fountain here. This is cool. I don't think I've ever seen this particular one before. But I love the pipe work. Huh. Those baked highlights? No, that's can't tell if that's that new system or no, it wouldn't be. I don't think anybody's created any of the new. Well, I'm sure there's some on the marketplace, but they haven't like propagated throughout the platform yet. You know, that new materials system that's supposed to. It's not actually materials, but it's a new acronym that makes things look ultra realistic and allows for reflections of ambient rendering. And it's kind of like the precursor to ray tracing in a sense, or maybe like a kind of abridged ray tracing. That'll be amazing when ray tracing finally comes to Second Life, you know, when GPUs are finally powerful enough to simulate all of that photonic physics and stuff. And this is a really beautiful build. I mean, I'm sure a lot of this is prefab, but whoever did the decorating inside was really on their game. You just never know, like, so many prefabs come pre-decorated with, like, everything. So occasionally you'll come across a place and you'll be like, wow, this is so well done. Like, a professional interior decorator came and did everything. But, like, you never know. It could just be, like, a bare prefab building that then someone meticulously went and picked every asset individually off the marketplace and slowly populated it over time. That's kind of how this place feels. Sometimes it's a hybrid, you know, like a prefab will come with like basic amenities, but not fully furnished. And then, you know, the buyer will gradually over time fill in the gaps. But I love how this is like reminiscent of like an Italian kind of like villa, basically. It's a modernist Italian villa. What do they call those? The place where they grow all the grapes. I don't know why the word is not coming to me. Vineyards. Yeah, Jesus Christ. I like live in California and I can't remember the word for the place where they grow all the grapes. Winery, now that's easy to remember, but vineyard is a little bit harder. I was looking at this prop here and thinking like kitchen appliances or sex toys. I honestly couldn't figure it out. It took me a few seconds to see everything. Wow, look at that sieve. Please tell me that's not geometry. Can't tell if it's a texture or geometry. Oh, it's definitely geometry. Damn. That's really cool though. You got your olive oil stoppers, wine opener, like olive tongs, whatever that sifter thing is. I don't know what it is. Barman accessories. Wow, look at this cabinet. This is, wow, it's beautiful with the like that lattice work. Man, it looks like they were all placed by hand almost with those. Like look at how uneven the texture is on the outside. That's incredible. Doesn't open though, apparently. Beverage cabinet by Merak. I thought for sure it would open, you know, and there'd be like bottles inside or something, but I've seen this one before, although it's equally pretty impressive in terms of all of the patterns and layers and stuff. Second Life increasingly for me is just becoming like every sim is just like a showroom for all the awesome props. on the marketplace. But I kind of want to go upstairs, but I just know that it's going to be like pretty much empty up there. It just has that feel to it, like this is a one single story kind of build. But looks like at least this room has some props in it. I wonder what that is. It's like a foot massage station or something. Oh, pottery wheel. Jesus, it was so obvious. Here we go. Like, this is really clear that it was part of the prefab because the texture of the wall and then the 3D structure climbing the wall is like a unified thing. Sometimes it's possible to kind of decrypt the structure, which is nice. At least if you're like me and you care about those things. Alright, back outside. This little atrium is cool. Hearing like some soothing ambient music in the background. There's just like props all over the place. Like they were right in the middle of decorating and they had to leave. Oh, here we go. There's like a mobile phone dock that plays music. Alright, let's see if I can fly. Nice. It's like a project under construction up here in the sky. And the vineyard over there, and then like the grape fields over here. I guess I didn't really explore this other side, so it's a beautiful tree. Wish it would res all the way though. I'm sure it'll look great when it's fully resed. Little arbors. Trellis arbors. Yeah, this looks like a hobbit hole over here. To slip into bag end. Nice. Oh, it literally is bag end. That's hilarious. From the movie, of course. It's cool that they terraformed the landscape so that this hobbit hole can fit into the hillside. They have bricks in Middle Earth? Not so sure about that. Oh, it literally says atrium over there. The landscaping is great. Like all this. I've seen a lot of sky assets today. I don't know if these are. Yeah, these are sky. That's what I thought. There's the white tree of Lothlorien. Oh, that's cool. Sculpture that's holding like a big dandelion, or yeah, that's a dandelion. That's pretty awesome. This is that one famous artist who does the human sculptures that are all like de-pixelating kind of. Mistro. Hyphing. Alright, I'm gonna see what this atrium's all about. Ah, that says Ethereum. Never mind. It's an aether. The mystical, metaphysical, unknowable substance that permeates all space and matter, animating and giving life, instilling magic in the void. Aether. That's kind of cool. There's like a... I don't know, that's just the ground coming up through the floor. I thought it was like a chipped... Jesus, look at all these roses. Holy shit. It's like... I can't even tell like if they're in sheets or just randomly positioned. That's awesome. So cool. I like this chandelier too. It's like a dried flower chandelier kind of. Nice little touches up here on the... That's so cool. Like vines, you know, it's like thematic. Oh, they're all different colors. That's so beautiful. Drew made this. Milk motion. Floral chandelier. I like this like star field of roses too. This is awesome. Flower string. That's like someone bought like a flower string or a set of flower strings and then they just loaded up the whole ceiling. It's a really cool effect. Huh, thought I saw a staircase up there earlier, but no, it's just single floor. Interesting. Guess I'm locked out. Oh cool, there's a clock in the middle of the fountain. That's pretty neat. I didn't notice that before. Oh, what the hell? Alright, I'm going to follow the staircase up the hillside. There's probably something interesting up there. God, the landscaping must have taken forever in this place. Okay, I just fell through the floor. Must have been phantom. I think it's pretty clear they're still like working on whatever that is up there. This is definitely one of those sims where it's almost better to explore just with the camera than by walking around because it's still so abstract and It's literally like they're just playing with Legos, and they've just dumped out a huge box of really cool components in 3 dimensions, and then they're just gradually kind of like sticking some of them together to form a coherent environment, but leaving many others just out in the open, floating in space. Wow, this is a cool kitchen. I got some citrus trees, huh? I know, apples. That's like a cool little mini orchard. This is nectarines? Peaches, maybe? I don't know. I like those dinosaur hedges. Dust bunny. Little dust bunny. My old nemesis. No. Yeah, well, this sim is fun to explore, but honestly, it's just a little too much of a mess to really like say anything conclusive about, to be honest. It's like walking into someone's dream. Alright, my stomach's growling. I'm gonna copy and paste the SL URL, and then I'm gonna sign off for the day. Thanks for participating in another one of Neotoy Stories' madcap adventures in the metaverse. And probably see you guys next time. As he spazzes out in the